Have these visions in my mind of a gift that's still inside. Can't believe my eyes. The moment has arrived. My time is right now. Tell me, are you ready for me? Better get ready for me. I'm here for the taking. I am coming. My time is right now. Tell me, are you ready for me? Better get ready, 'cause I'm coming.
Hey, welcome to Raw and Uncut Live. We took a 2-week break. I know y'all missed us. We missed y'all. We missed giving y'all this beautiful content. First, I want to shout out to everybody who's a consistent supporter of Raw and Uncut. We appreciate you. I know we started a little bit late today, but something came up, but we here. We have an amazing show for you tonight. First, I want to say everybody that's on here, please go download, get ready. We're trying to hit 1 million streams. We could do it. There's 5,000 friends that I have on Facebook. I need all 5,000 of you to share, promote, and tag. Get ready. It's an amazing song, if I have to say so myself. But let's get ready for tonight's show. Tonight's show is crazy. Tonight's show is gonna be bananas. I pray after tonight's show that I don't lose my female audience, but it's gonna get real. So tonight we got a special guest. We've been doing this a lot lately, but me and my sis was inspired, so she decided to come through. So please give it up for the host of Sanctity of Sisterhood, none other than Charmaine Lodeholt.
Okay. Hey everybody.
What up, sis?
Hey bro, what's going on?
What's going on?
Nothing much.
You ready for tonight?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
You sure?
I'm positive.
All right, so we were away, we were talking, and a lot of people was talking about the Will and Jada situation, and there was a meme that kind of stuck out. I'm gonna get into it. So it was somebody on Facebook or whatever, he posted, and there's Jada on one side, and one of the comments that she made was, it had been so long since she felt good. This is what she's telling her husband of over 20 years. Will responds and says, I can love you through anything. So the question that was asked was, do you ever notice that the relationship is at stake only when the female is unhappy? It's not really entanglement. I don't want to deal with the entanglement issue. First of all, all of y'all on here, I need y'all to like, share, comment, because it's gonna get. I have a feeling it's gonna get crazy tonight. Shout out to Pastor Jason Hendrickson, who I saw on here. Gabby Seabrooks, I saw her on here. Tanel, seen her. So Mano, talk to us.
What up? What's your question? So I want us to go ahead.
So why is it that it seems like the only time a relationship is at stake is when the woman is unhappy?
So I wouldn't necessarily say that is the only time. And it really depends on the female, right? Because everybody's not the same. Everybody is different. And so I feel like that's a blanket statement to say that, the only time a relationship is in jeopardy is when, it's the female, has the issue. A lot of times, men hold it in. right? And so they don't say what's necessarily on their mind or what they're feeling until later down the line after everything is said and done. Because women, for a lot of us, we're vocal and we'll say how we feel, but men are, you guys are not always as vocal to say, oh, this is what I'm feeling, I don't like this, I don't like that. And so then, yeah, it may look like, in the end, oh, it's only because we're not happy, which I disagree with that. But
So
that may be true.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because I have a few examples for you.
All right, let's go.
So Will and Jada is one. Most of the time when we see celebrities going through, whether it's breakups, separations, or whatever, notice 98% of the time they never interview the husband to hear what went wrong in the marriage or the relationship. Most of the time, it's always from the woman's point of view. So the woman expresses whatever, oh, well, I had it emotionally, it wasn't good for me. I felt like I had to leave. I felt like it's always from the woman's perspective. Even when Jada expressed what she expressed of why she did what she did or whatever, you never saw women jump on top of her. It was always, well, Will, he had his thing and whatever. But why is it so hard? Why is it so hard for women to admit they're wrong? And I'm not generalizing, but I'm just, certain women. Why is it so hard for them to admit their part in what went wrong?
I honestly don't feel like women have a hard time admitting, because by nature we are communicators. And so, and I can't, every woman is different. So a lot of times, like, I'm a communicator. I like to communicate. And so if something's bothering me, I like to talk about it. Everybody is not like that. And so I feel like sometimes with this, let's just talk about the Will and Jada thing. So I heard a lot of people say, like you said, oh, people are not jumping on Jada. No one's saying anything about Jada. Jada was absolutely wrong. If any female gets on here and says or says like, oh, they agree with her, I don't really know, because her stand you cannot say that you are caring for a person's soul, someone that your children brought to you, that you're caring for their soul, and then you end up sleeping with them. That's absolutely wrong. That's crazy. And the fact of the matter is that we do have a lot of women who are just pro woman, and they don't, and it really doesn't matter what a female does. To be honest, there are friendships that happen that if I was a cheater and I was cheating on my husband and a friend knew, some friends are down for that. Some women that are female, that are friends with their female, they'll go with it. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, that's wrong. But we don't have enough people speaking out against these things because people are afraid to be honest about the situation. People are afraid to tell their friends when they're wrong. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't a secret. I'm pretty sure Jada probably shared with someone that she was friends with. Now I can't say, oh, the friend was with it, but I feel like when you're friends with someone and you know that they're doing wrong, as a woman, I'm never gonna say, yo, that's not wrong. Because we've got to understand
All right,
that.
so hmm.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
So all right, so you said something which was very important. This is something that most people teach in relationships. You talked about communication. Now, we know most women are communicators, very, very good at communicating. But we also know there's different types of communication.
Mhm.
And sometimes, especially with what Jada said, like, so she didn't feel good for a long time. This is, to me, is a deja vu moment. Why? Because it sounds like something that I remember. I don't know how long ago it was with the whole Aisha Curry situation, where she posted what she posted, and she was like, she just wanted to feel pretty. She wanted compliments or whatever. I just feel like when women get themselves in certain situations and they express how they feel of why they put themselves in that situation, there's always an excuse or always a, well, we have to come to an understanding. Men are not given that same courtesy. What is up with the double standard? Because you didn't hear too many women feeling bad for Will. Will would have did what Jada did.
I don't necessarily think that. In some instances, yes. But like I said, we as women, we have a lot of women that are, like I said, pro woman. No matter what happens, we have each other's back. What happens is most men that get caught in things like this or in scandals, they try to lie them their way out of it, knowing good and well they did it. They don't own up to it. They try to belittle, the situation just because they did what they did. Then it's not. It's all you are overreacting as the woman, and that's just not true. And so I don't think it's so much of a double standard. I honestly feel like men get the harder rap because a lot of times men lie. They lie about you. Men
Mm.
get caught right in the situation and will still lie. You can
So
have
do
all
women.
the
So
evidence.
do
You
no.
you can have
We are
all the
not gonna do that.
evidence. You can have
So
all
do
the
women. We're
evidence,
not gonna do that.
and you can have all the evidence right there, and he will still. Majority of men will still lie. If you poll the audience, a lot of people have had instances where the men still lie. And I'm not saying that women don't
But women,
lie.
but nah, no, no, no,
I'm
no,
not
no, no.
saying women don't
Because
lie.
women are better liars than men are.
Okay.
Women are better liars than men. Like even so, I just saw a comment that Dwayne put up where
Uh-huh.
he talked about how Jada downplayed the whole thing. Like
No.
this is what we see. Like when a woman screws up, we have to come to the table and we have to come to some understanding of why she screwed up. We have to come to, now we got to psychoanalyze. We gotta try to understand, and we gotta play psychologist. Whereas when a man screws up, we don't get that same courtesy. We don't look. Let's take the Kevin Hart situation for instance.
Uh-huh.
Let's use that. The women were throwing this man under the bus. Now, granted, there's been rumors about Will and Jada's relationship for years,
Yeah.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then it seems like, all right, Kevin Hart has a pattern of doing this because he cheated with the first wife, and then now he got caught. You know what I'm saying? And then people have their own theories of how they got together, whatever. But when that situation happened, nobody was trying to sit at a table. Nobody was trying to come together. Nobody was trying to understand. Nobody was trying to hear him out. Nah. That man had to come on Instagram Live and post a video. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I think we need to start a movement that men's lives matter.
Nah.
Our lives matter. Our emotions matter. Our feelings matter.
But a lot of times, first of all, a lot of times men are not emotional.
Why?
What do you mean? Well, it depends on the woman, right? Because honestly, I've heard some men say, "Oh, I don't feel like I could communicate with my spouse. I don't feel like I can be honest with my spouse. I don't feel like I can be myself with my spouse. Why? Because of the way she may be." But sometimes you gotta look deeper into it, because some stuff that men say or women say is surface stuff. A lot of times there's stuff underneath it. There are past hurts that have happened. There are things that have said that has happened. And so we only see the surface stuff. We only get to see what people put out there. But we don't know what
You know
truly
why?
happened.
You know why? We that's because you have these statuses and you have these posts and you have these sayings. And I've seen it with my own eyes. Don't be no woman that helps a man unpack his emotional baggage, where there's instances where there's men who have baby mamas, and okay, but why don't we ever hear about the baby father drama? There's some women who got crazy baby daddies, and we gotta help her unpackage that emotional damage that the baby daddy done dealt with, that done did. It's not an even playing field. It's not.
I agree with you. But again, like I said, people were looking for Will to be emotional. I feel like I had a conversation with some of my coworkers. They wanted Will to be emotional regarding the things that Jada was saying. And I get it. They were saying, "Oh, I felt like he was upset, but he really didn't, dig deep."
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, um, I just feel like, or from experience, men are not very emotional. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because it takes that woman to be able to, like you said, help someone unpack. I know that people post these me. I honestly don't agree with that, because I feel like
Okay.
men go through their process, and you have to allow men to go through their process. If you're married and there are certain things with your spouse that you guys are experiencing together, and maybe in an area he's not matured yet, does that mean, "Oh, I'm leaving because he ain't doing what I want him to do"? "Oh, I'm leaving because of this"? A lot of times I feel like as women, we don't extend the grace to men to be able to be or to be able to become who they really are supposed to be, because sometimes in relationships, you get into a relationship and you don't always know everything about a person. So yeah, he may have things that he has to deal with. That's a part of the process. But we do have a lot of women, because of what we've been taught. "Oh, don't invest. Don't invest your time. Don't get emotionally involved. If he's still living at home, or if he ain't got money, stay clear of him." And I just don't agree with that, because I feel like we have to allow room for our men to grow. And a lot of times, a lot of women are going to miss out on great men because they threw them away while they were in their process of becoming.
Okay, so you brung up a point. Dwayne, go back to Jason's first comment when he talked about because Charmaine said something. I didn't want to interrupt her because my sis was flowing. But she said something about Will not saying much. So we know there's different types of talk. There's verbal and then there's nonverbal. So Jason said he was. Did you see his face? He was saying a
No,
whole lot.
I saw his
agree
face.
with
I
that
saw his face. I
100%.
said my
I'm looking.
coworkers were saying he wasn't emotional. I didn't know what they were looking for him to do.
Right, because the thing with number one, you could tell number one that he really loves her, and
Absolutely.
he was embarrassed because whatever was going on was exposed. It's different when me and you deal with it privately, but now that it's out publicly, and they see, and I'm pretty sure it embarrassed him more so because a lot of times you have people saying, "Oh, Will and Jada is goals, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're goals," but we never know what people go through when the cameras are off them, when the lights are not shining, what happens behind. We never know what happens behind closed doors. Will Smith's face was saying so much,
Yes.
and I think a lot. I think seeing his face spoke for a lot of men because it was more of a we talk without talking. And he even had to gut check her one time, like when she tried to throw in a whole entanglement word, like, nah, my
Right.
nigga, that was not it was a relationship. Let's call it, let's call it what it was. Um and yes, Jason, we're very territorial. So we do put ourselves in a position where it's like, yeah, we could, and that is a double standard within itself. We could mess up, but we don't want y'all to mess up because we are different.
Right. And I was gonna say that.
Because
I was gonna say that because a lot of times.
so
Go
here's
ahead.
the thing, and this is how we feel. And I want you to correct me, being a female. Um, this is probably where the show is going to twist, and it's going to get a little crazy. When women cheat, there's more of an emotional attachment because to me, it takes them a while to get there. So now that they're there,
Exactly, Jason.
men, we could do it, but you know what I'm saying? We could forget about her. Women, not so much. So I saw your face. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look at your, look at your face.
Um, I like. I'm basically just giving my opinion here. Honestly, I've never cheated on anybody I was with, so I can't. I don't. I can't speak to that because I don't know the emotional attachment that goes into that. I don't know. So I can't, I can't speak to that. What I will say from experience and having friends that have been in that situation, there is
Mm-hmm.
an emotional attachment. You're absolutely right. But woman, when we know what we want, we can cut someone off. I feel like men, when you guys cheat, you will say that you have cut the person off but still have some type of attachment. You'll still be texting,
Okay.
you'll still be calling, and you'll lie to us and say that you're not when really you are. Us as like women, females, and I have some sisters on here, when we say that we're done with something, we can be done. I've known men who have said, and I've had friends that have done this, who have said, oh, it's over, it's done. But then to find out it wasn't done, it wasn't over, they were secretly talking, and and like I said to my first point, a lot of men lie because they feel like they won't get caught, or they feel like, oh, the women won't know. Let me tell you something. We as women always know. The thing about it is the maturity in us. Some of us are just mature past the point of arguing with you. So we'll let you rock out and do what you do. But don't think for 1 second that we as women don't know what you're doing. And and I think Pastor Hendrickson said, like, y'all can't dish out what y'all take. So if a woman, if you find out your woman is cheating on you, like Will cheated on Jada many times. So, and he wanted her to forgive him. He wanted her to take him back. He said it like in some previous things they had done like a long time ago. He wanted her to, take him back or whatever. But he could not handle, and it was clear in his demonstration, in his expression, that hearing it and knowing that now she had got into an entanglement, as she called it, but really a relationship with this boy, he couldn't handle it. Which is like, you can't take what you give. And a lot of times, like Pastor Hendrickson said, we can't take what we dish out. But what he said is a double standard. So what?
Oh, so you're
That's
so
what
wait.
Pastor Hendrickson said. It's a double standard. So what? That's what he said.
No. It definitely is, because y'all don't cheat fair.
What? Cheat fair? What does that mean?
Y'all don't cheat fair.
What does cheat fair mean? Clarify.
Women don't cheat fair. Like,
what is
y'all
cheating fair?
Y'all add like all the extra stuff. Like, I miss you, and him so handsome, and then you do stuff like the nigga you cheating with, he gonna like all your statuses and put, like, y'all don't cheat fair.
So the women that men cheat with don't do that? Because
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Oh, okay. Because what y'all would do is y'all see, men don't mind being a side nigga. You know what I'm saying? August was okay with being a side dude until, you know what I'm saying? That's why she shouldn't have went so young. And he was crazy. He already had mental issues. But certain men don't mind being a side nigga. So they know how to play their position. So, you know what I'm saying? They'll call, and she'll be like, "Oh, hey girl," the man know how to play his position, like, "Oh, that's code for I'm next to my man." You know what I'm saying? Ain't no chick doing that. No chick is doing that.
Because most of the time, y'all men make the women comfortable. So they out of control. They don't care. They have no filter. They don't care. They have no respect, because most times men, when a man cheats on their significant other with another woman, you automatically give that woman the authority to feel like, oh, I gotta one up on her. Oh,
and you think the man, let me tell you, women are more emotional than men are. So the dude you cheating with, you already letting him know how much of a dog your man is. So he already got a one up too. Because in his mind, she really want to be with me. So he got a one up too. And I feel like that's what August was feeling. So when that didn't happen, and I
feel like August felt like Jada was really leaving Will, was not getting back with Will, and they was going to be together. Hence why when she decided that she couldn't live with Will and she really wanted her husband, he got caught up, got mad, and then he started telling all. I honestly don't think he would have ever told all had she, stuck with him. He got upset at the fact that now she felt like, you know what, this is not right. Because she said, I realized that I didn't want to do life without Will. And so, Will was like, we already knew about this. Like, we had this conversation. We thought it was done. Like we thought it was good. But because August had feelings and he was hurt, he probably had somebody in his ear, like, oh, you should plaster, put it out there. And so he did.
So, all right. So the name of the show is Raw and Uncut. We have all types of random stuff happening. First, I need y'all to share this, share this, share this. I'm having a dope conversation with my sister, but we have a surprise guest. My brother is on here.
Guest.
We got a surprise guest. You know, that's what happened on Raw and Uncut Live. So we got Pastor Jason Hendrickson is with us.
Oh boy. I'm just playing.
You gotta unmute yourself, bro. There you go.
What's up, lady Charmaine?
Good evening, Pastor. Good evening.
So I'm gonna play moderator now. Now I don't have to. You know, I got somebody. Okay, so we have a question. This is an amazing way to segue. So let's get into why does a woman's unhappiness show signals for ending of a relationship? I'm gonna let Jason get into that first, and then I'm gonna let Charmaine.
I think it shows because number one, the woman normally is the center of the relationship. That's the way that it's designed. And when they're unhappy, no one's happy. And that's facts. You know the old saying, happy wife, happy life. So I think
I want to get into that too.
I think because the female is the glue that holds the relationship together. So when they are at their point of unhappiness, the whole house is unsettled. Because even the scripture says that it's better to live on the rooftop and fight the elements than to live with an unhappy woman. So it's just the oil that God has put on them to glue the family or the household together. So when they're not okay, none of us will be okay. But I will say this, that there is a need and a cry for men to have that safe space to be honest with their partners, because what happens is most women tell us they want the truth, but they really can't handle the truth. And we find ourselves not being as transparent as we need to be to heal from failure, to heal from mistakes, to heal from falling and getting into situations that may not be conducive to the family unit. So, you know, we really have to take a look at that, because it's really not safe for most men to be honest. Because number one, women don't forget anything. You guys will bring up stuff from 29 years ago in an argument
that we don't forget about.
And it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it's like there's something in a woman that shows, like it's a radar that says, get him. Bring up the time when we was 19 and you didn't open the door for me. Sis, what are you talking about? We're arguing about dinner not being ready, and you bring it up when we were in high school. That's what creates the unsafe space. And what happens is whenever a man steps out of the relationship, it is only because he has found a safe space in someone else. Because all the time it's not another woman. Some men are, I don't want to say cheating, but spending more time with their work than their woman, spending more time with their gift than their woman, because that is a safer space than me being with you. So sometimes we just all need to take a look at what's happening and say, what am I doing? Because we can point fingers at each other all night, but what am I doing to create the space where my spouse does not feel safe to come to me and find themselves going to another or spending time doing something else rather than being with me?
Lady Charmaine, what's up?
So I really agree with Pastor Henderson, because I can only speak for experience. You know, I had to mature to the place of being a safe space for my husband. And I feel like, you know, us as young women getting married, especially in the church, we don't have there are not enough mentors or women to teach us how to be a wife. And though every household is different, there are just some things I feel like I wish I would have known before I got married. How to handle, the emotional parts of my spouse. How to be able to allow him to freely speak without over talking. How to listen to understand what he's going through instead of listening to respond. And so a lot of us women, young women or women that are seeking to be in relationships and get married, that is the first thing. We've got to learn how to listen without wanting to just lash out and respond. And that only comes through maturity. And unfortunately, we don't have enough platforms that are open enough to teach women how to be a wife, how to be that safe space. We just don't have it because a lot of people, a lot of the older saints, they they made it through their relationships, unfortunately, by just going with the flow. Go, just being passive, just so that their spouses would be okay. But now we're in a different era, and that just won't work because you have a level of women and all of these tools out here to for women are saying, I ain't being silent, I'm not shutting up, I'm gonna say how I feel. I don't really care what he thinks or what he says, and therefore we're gonna have more divorces because we don't have women, the seasoned women, enough seasoned women taking time to pour into us to really teach us how to be a well, how to be that safe space to our partners.
Well, can I ask you a question? If
Sure.
if 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 we know that that's the issue, sometimes we're looking to be taught by people that need to be taught, and sometimes I know, pastoring both my mom and dad, sometimes the student has to become the teacher.
Mhm.
So if you're cognizant and know that that's what's missing, there's so much information out here. There's so many resources that we have at our fingertips now. And to be honest with you, it all starts with you communicating with your man. Just having a conversation and allowing him to speak his truth. And I think one of the greatest mistakes we make in relationships is we minimize one another's truth. Just because I don't agree with you does not mean my truth is not my truth. And I, as a man, will spend time with anyone that makes my truth matter. That's what opens the door for infidelity. It's not that she looks better than you. It's not that she's prettier than you. She understands what Delilah understood. That if I'm going to get what I want from this man, I have to create a space where he can lay his head. Because he's out fighting the Philistines all day. He's out fighting people all day. He don't need to come home to a war zone.
But for some, I mean, every household is different. But I know women that have been cheated on, and they have been that safe space. They have looked out for their spouses. They've been that wife that made sure the house was done, the kids were taken care of, everything was taken care of, and they still were cheated on or not treated fairly. So I feel like, and I totally agree with you're saying, like you want to feel like your truth matters. But there have been instances where I feel like men don't always make women feel like their truth matters, because when we start saying how we feel about certain things, I've heard men say, "Oh, you're just being insecure," or "Oh, here we go again," and then that's not fair to the woman
I don't,
Well,
I don't,
because
I don't think it's a lot of the times it's not what's being said,
it's
it's
how.
how it's being said.
There you go.
And
There
a
you
lot
go.
of times women, because of and it's not all women, but there are some women who, you know, just whether they grew up seeing their mom be aggressive, or they grew up around their grandmother or auntie being aggressive, or they just grew up around a bunch of strong women. Maybe there wasn't no men around. The tone and what you take. And men, number one, especially if you deal with a man who has a 9 to 5, or a man who serves an angry, mean leader, he's already outside being spoken down to. So even if you want to express your unhappiness or how you feel, don't talk at me, talk to me. And I think that's where the disconnect happens. And that goes with anybody.
But like I was saying, Dre, you know, I'm looking at the comments. Even in this conversation, there's been an instant divide. The women are saying, Lady Charmaine, we got your back, girl. We with you. and you know, it's like they're automatically ready to go up in arms. Why does Lady Charmaine need y'all to have her back? She's not in a fight. She's in a conversation. And this is the normal response, that we automatically split instead of coming together. Because if there's ever going to be a healing in relationships between a man and a woman, especially when you're dealing with an alpha male, I'm not talking about someone who's very unsure of their manhood, someone who's not a provider, someone that is not working hard to take care of their kids. When you're dealing with a responsible man and you have a responsible woman, those two together can be one of the most beautiful things. But we all have to understand the role. You are not my equal. And I know y'all don't like that, but it's the truth. Because if I am the head of the house, the husband, the one that bands the house together, you are not my equal. And that's one of the greatest things we have taught that is misleading relationships everywhere. If I am the head, you are not my equal. And most women are not ready to hear that. The Bible.
All right, so wait, no. Wait, hold on, bro, because I don't want you to go. I don't want you to go too far. I want to stay there. So when you say something,
I'm going right there. I'm staying there.
Okay.
The scriptures even.
No. This is good. So this is good.
The scripture even declares that you are the weaker vessel. So why do you constantly think you need to be my opponent instead of my partner? It's okay for you to be weaker than me. That doesn't make you weak. It's okay for you to be submissive to me, because here's the trick. When you submit to me, I'll automatically submit to you.
Yeah, but the times that we're living in, unfortunately, it's not like that. We don't have a lot of men that are being the head. And so this is why we have issues, because not you, but men want to be the head, but then they're not taking care of the headship, the responsibilities of being the head.
Okay,
And
but what
that's
about
just a
the ones
known
that are?
fact.
What about
That's
the
just
ones
a
that
known
are?
fact. So for the ones that are, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I feel like, in any relationship, first of all, I disagree with any woman who talks down to their man. Dre can attest to that. My brothers can attest to that. I'm always fair, because I feel like we should never down talk our spouses, just because, like you said, they are the head, right? But at the same time, the same respect that you guys want as husbands, as men, is the same respect that you should give us as wives. Because why? We are the ones that hold it all together. While men want to be the head, we're still the ones that is making sure everything is intact. And a lot of times, that's not being portrayed in a relationship in the households.
Because there needs to be more teaching on relationships, because especially when you get into marriage, most men, especially Christian men, have never even read the scripture in the book of First Peter, where it says, a man that does not honor his wife, God doesn't even hear your prayer.
Talk about that, right?
That's how much God values covenant. And see, that's the thing. When we're dating, that's one thing. But when you shift into covenant, the responsibility, the level of accountability, it all shifts on all of our parts. So just because I'm the head does not mean I walk around like a dictator. Shut your mouth. Go do. No, that's somebody that is insecure. That's somebody who's a narcissist. That's somebody that doesn't understand authority. You have to understand, as the head, you have to become more like Christ, because he loves his church, his bride. What was he willing to do for his bride? Die, in spite of the fact that he knows his bride was going to cheat on him. He knew it and still died anyway. What manner of love is this? You understand? So when you talk about being the head, you're talking about being an individual that's able to look beyond all of my shortcomings, look beyond all of my proclivities, and love me in spite of, because that's what God does for us. So we cannot get that head title and think that it means that you become a brute and you just become a complete moron. No. When you have that title, that means you have to become more like Christ. And the more I am like Christ, the easier it should be for you to submit as
I
a woman.
agree with that. I agree with that.
Because it's
And
hard to submit, because women are driven by security. Men are driven by ego stroking. You will not submit to a man that's playing Xbox all day while you out working. You're
absolutely
going
not.
you going to challenge him on every level. And I am not going to be faithful to someone that does not know how to make me feel like I am the best thing since sliced bread. Because I'm made in the image of God. Even God pulls up where he's praised. He don't stay nowhere where he's not praised. He'll spend no time there. And that's just how we are as men. If you want my time, praise me. You want my time, stroke my ego. Make me think that every idea, even if it's dumb, is the best thing since sliced bread. I'll always be loyal to you. I'll always take care of you. But when you
So
So
start
the
Jason,
challenging my
so you're saying the
creativity,
only way you'll be loyal
so
is
so
if your wife
so you
praise
saying you
you?
want your wife to lie to you?
no, I'm not.
Cause
No,
you
see,
ain't
see,
always
see,
perfect, and
no,
you ain't
and
always
that's
worthy of praise.
and that's not
Sorry.
what I'm saying. That's not what I'm
Oh,
saying.
all right.
I'm saying that when it comes to me presenting what I want to do, how I want to do it, even if you don't think it's a great idea, I'm telling y'all, I get accolades, and I've been getting accolades since I'm 15 years old. I've been traveling and doing ministry and music professionally since 15 years old. I'm telling you, I have had women try to rip my shirts off while I'm playing. It's crazy. They've told me how cute I am, how great I play the drums, all this, but nothing meant the same as when my wife said it. And when my wife wasn't saying it, my eye and my mind and my spirit was turned towards the fans.
So are you saying that it's your wife's responsibility to always keep praising you so that you'll keep your eyes on her?
No, because I'm married. I ain't blind. Let's just keep it a buck. That's like you saying you don't look at nobody and be like, girl, he cute. That's not because you married. That's not true. Hello?
But you said that when
Come on.
your
Amen, Light.
wife
No, no,
praises
no,
you,
no, no, no. Don't
no, no,
dance
no.
around that, Lady Long. Don't
I'm
dance
not
around
dancing
that.
around nothing. There
Come on.
have been times when I said that there's nothing wrong with saying someone's cute. I don't
Okay.
have a problem if my husband saw someone and he said, "Oh, she's cute." To have a problem, that's insecurity.
Well, number one, I'm not saying that my wife should always praise me. I'm saying that there should be nothing that I hear from another woman that I have not heard from my wife. That's what I'm saying. And vice
Okay.
versa. There should not be anything that you hear from another man that you haven't heard from your husband. And that means that you have to be attentive, you have to matriculate, you have to grow with me, you have to know that I am not the same guy when we first started dating, now that we've been together 12, 13, 20 years. I've
Right,
changed.
Jillian.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
hey, and Jillian, that's what I'm talking about. and see, I'm going to tell on myself, but go ahead. Let me shut my
Yeah,
mouth.
go on, enjoy
Yeah,
yourself.
let you shut your mouth before
No,
you
because
be on a
when I
Larry Reed.
when I see a when I see a
Right.
fine girl walking in front of my car, and I'm with my wife, I'm like, babe, do you see what she got on?
Now,
Because listen, if
Lady
we
Mo,
going down together. We all
we going down again.
praise him. Hallelujah.
What? I can't.
I'm, I'm taking everybody with me. But
Hallelujah. We all going down. Praise him.
but you both said something, and I agree. I agree with the majority of what was said. But what about when the headship hits a storm, and he for whatever amount of period of time, um, he's not able to play the role that he's supposed to play.
That's when
You know, like a lot of men during this pandemic weren't. You know, a lot of them lost jobs. Most of whether you was an entrepreneur, whatever. If you were not essential, or you were not, your pockets got hit hard, so you couldn't provide like you wanted to.
man, that's when partnership kicks in. You know, because there were days, it hasn't been a long time, when I was broke, man. And I couldn't find a job for whatever reason. And my wife held it down. You know, that's what we do when we're in partnership. When you're in partnership, I got you, you got me. But you as a man have to stay hunting. You have to keep
Mm-hmm.
looking, because what will happen? And I know a lot of women that have slipped into this. If your woman has to become the sole provider, there is a spirit that will jump on her, and she will become mentally a man and start
What?
acting and behaving. It's a proven fact. She will start talking and acting like she's the head of the family. So that's why it's important that we always, as
So you saying in
long
the
as God
bedroom
gives
she
us
gonna bend
strength,
you over?
I don't know
as,
where you find these women at.
as long as God gives us strength, we must always be in our rightful place. Because why you think, and see, I'm getting ready to get in trouble, but I know I ain't talking wrong, because men were out of place. Why you think there's so many women bishops now? Go ahead. I'll let that go. Because the
Yeah.
scriptures clearly say that a bishop must be the husband.
Hey, don't
Listen,
come up
I know
here.
you come from a church full of them, Andre. But if we gonna talk, we gonna talk. The only reason why the women became
That's
bishops,
not
because
what we talking about tonight,
the men
Jason.
see, this is why we can't get help, because y'all don't want to hear the truth. The reason why the women became bishops, because the men were out of place. That's why. And anytime men are out of place, women will naturally step in and make it happen.
Well, yeah, because that's what we as women do. We make it happen. And I agree with you when you
Not without
said,
complaining.
huh? What you said?
I
You
said
said
not
not
without
without.
complaining.
Oh, I mean, listen. It depends
Complaining.
on. It
My mother
depends
used to do that
on
to
the
me all the
woman.
time.
And I
Some
love the
women
women
will.
bishops. Don't get me wrong. I love them.
Some women will complain, about assuming that role. But like it goes back to what I said, maturity, because every female is not mature enough to handle that role. Just because they're married doesn't mean that, oh, they automatically know to step into that role of taking over, right? Because sometimes females have friends that are in their ear, like, girl, he ain't got a job yet. He can't help you yet. You doing everything, you paying the bills, you doing this. And so if we're not careful as women, we will start listening to our friends who don't have anybody, who will guide us in the wrong direction. And this is why I constantly tell people, like, you got to be careful. You got to know the role of the compartmental roles of people that you are with, that is in your circle, that is in your corner. Because a lot of women are, oh, that's my sis. I got her back. I'll do this. But we got to understand that everybody that's screaming that they're for us and for our marriage and for our relationships is not always for us. And some women honestly want your man. So for us ladies, we've got to be careful with sharing, because we as women share a lot of information. So if you have, I know somebody that is married, she doesn't go to church, but her husband lost his job during the pandemic. She had to take over the role of taking care of the bills, the house, the this, the that. She has a friend that's telling her, if he don't get a job, like, you crazy. I wouldn't be doing all that. So here she is telling me, like, yo, I'm getting sick of him. I think I need to leave him. So I said to her, so you gonna listen to your friend who don't have a man? We've got to know as women that things are gonna happen. And when we take on the role as being a wife, those vows mean something. And it's our job to hold up to that end of the bargain in those vows that we made before God and the people that were there. And so when we start saying things like, oh, I'm out of here because he can't provide no more, he can't do this. Like I said, while he's in a position of becoming, we're doing ourselves a disservice. And a lot of us women, like I said,
That's
we're
cool,
gonna
because then the
lose
next
out
woman gonna
on
push you, and
relationships.
you're gonna be a millionaire.
We're gonna lose out on good men that have had a hard time because we didn't want to stick through it with them. I'm not saying be stupid. I'm not saying, because I feel like somebody saying, oh, but I ain't staying with no man that's cheating. Listen, to thy own self be true, but understand that, again, like Pastor Hendrickson said, we've got to all look at ourselves, because things don't happen just because of one person in one situation.
And just to, I'll jump on the woman's side for a second. How long can I date potential? how 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 long can I date potential? You know what I mean? After a while, I need you to become. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want the
Mm-hmm.
young ladies that are on here to get stuck with potential, because that
Right.
can become draining as well. Because
Yeah, he gotta
it's
put
just
that
like
work in.
homeboy. It's just like homeboy on what's the
I'm holding
movie
my
with?
own, Raven.
It's just like the movie with
No.
Taraji.
Raven cannot comment on here, and she knows why. So Dwayne, anything that Raven says, do not put up here.
Don't do that to
She
Raven.
banned.
Don't do
Tag
that.
my
Don't do that
sis
to Lady
name.
Boy.
Banned.
Don't
And
play
Don't do
with
she
that to
knows
her.
Raven.
why. Banned. I love my sis
Acrimony.
Raven.
It's not like the dude in acrimony. You know, you after a while you get tired of potential, and you want your partner to actually manifest and become something. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a case by case
But look,
scenario,
but
because like you
Sage,
Right.
said,
look at how long it took him though, bro. Because
yeah,
remember, what he was building was from college.
yeah, that was crazy.
It
That's
was
crazy.
from college. And what was crazy was all he needed was the right connect. It wasn't like he wasn't working hard. That man was working on that battery day and night.
Yeah,
It
but he
wasn't
was
like he
also
wasn't
spending her
pushing
money
him.
though. He was also
What
He
spending
was
happened?
all her
spend
money.
he was spending all her money. All of
It
it.
was an investment. And what happened? What happened? Even after she divorced him and doodled on him, because I don't want to say what I want to say.
You
After
better
she
not. And
divorced him
I'm
and
proud of you.
doodled
You ain't
on him,
said the N word yet.
I
I'm
didn't say
proud of
nigga
you.
the whole show.
Oh, there you
After
go.
that,
There you go.
he gave her. He went back. Even though they wasn't together no more, he had a whole nother thing. He went back and said, yo, this is what you invested in me. I'm even giving back what you lost. That's a word right there. Y'all can preach that on Sunday. Y'all can have that one right there.
Because he had integrity. He had
Right.
integrity. And I think that's what's missing from a lot of situations, the integrity. of doing what's right, because
Doing what's
sometimes,
right. Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
what's right don't feel good.
Hmm.
All
But
right.
if it's right, it's right.
It's 10:30. Give y'all last words, y'all last comments. Lady Charmaine and then Pastor J.
I just want to say for us as ladies, we got to know, while we know our worth, we got to also know that it's okay to speak up. It's okay to be vocal about what we dislike in our relationships, and then find resolution. Resolution can just simply be, you know what? We both got flaws we need to work on. How can we, what do you need from me to be better? And what do I need from you for you to be better? And communication. We are lacking communication in the kingdom with relationships. And if we can ever get on the same page with our spouses and in relationships, we would make for better people in relationships and out of relationships. We wouldn't be so willing and ready to give up if we communicated and understand that just because we don't agree on everything, that doesn't mean throw the whole relationship away. That just simply means we got more to work on. And with God, all things are possible.
Pastor
Um,
J.
I'll tell you the truth. Men are extremely emotional. Don't for one second think or believe that lie that men are not emotional. We just emote differently, and it is your, I don't want to say obligation, but if you're in a relationship with me, it should be your pleasure to find out how to find that space where I can emote safely. Because the space where I emote safely is the space I will build. The place where I can be fed and nourished and made to feel like I'm at peace when I don't have to fight and fin and do everything that I have to do outside is the place where I will build. So if you want your relationship built with a real man, you have to create a safe space. Because again, Delilah was able to get everything she wanted from Samson and never slept with him. The greatest mistake that young ladies make is thinking that the most powerful thing you have against me as a man is between your legs. That's not the case. We can get that anywhere. That comes a dime a dozen. But it takes a special woman to create that space where I can be the greatest Jason, where you can be the greatest Andre, where I can go out and feel like it's us against the world. That's where you will really find the greatest part of me as a man. And I'll say this and I'll close. Every man has a king and a fool inside of him. You get whichever one you talk to.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Raw and Uncut. Thank God for my big sis, Lady Charmaine, my big bro. He was going in, so I texted him. I said, check your email. He came right on in. So I appreciate y'all for taking time out your schedule. Thank y'all so much, all my supporters, every comment, every like, every share. We appreciate it so much. Thank you for making another episode of Raw and Uncut Live special. Next week, I may bring them back for part 2. Because I feel like that's Jason and Lady Charmaine to get enough off their chest. And maybe my sis Lady Raven could join us and back up
Absolutely.
her sister, so she won't feel like her sister is getting jumped. I love
I'm
y'all.
good.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
good, but I
Make
prefer
sure
for my sister.
every Monday night, 9 p.m. y'all tune into Sanctity of Sisterhood. Lady Charmaine is doing an amazing job, and please support my bro, his music. Support that. I can't say the banana pudding, the Oreo parfait.
Lady Loho ain't had
And
me on her show yet, Andre. Let's talk about that. But go ahead.
we'll talk about that on the side. Shout out, I believe, congratulations is in order. Pastor Jason just got his first restaurant
Yes.
situation today.
Sally's, 151 Tompkins Avenue, right on the corner of Willoughby. You go there, the All Things Banana Pudding has been added to the menu as of today.
And guess what? You know when he did that? During the pandemic. So God is still strategizing. God is still giving people ideas. If you need some masks, hit up my sis. God gave her that, and she's doing a phenomenal job. Support the All Things shirt. This is one right here. Pastor Jason got the other one on. Get your Sanctity and Sisterhood shirt. And thank y'all so much once again for tuning in. Catch us next Thursday, same time, same place. Peace out.
My time is right now.